In this video we're going to take a look at the Queen song Calling All Girls. This is actually a redo of a video that I did over 7 years ago, back when I was still balancing my iPhone on my music stand and didn't really have any gear. I hadn't actually realised that I hadn't redone this one in better quality. I've taken the chords out of the Stephen James Complete Queen chord book for this one, for ease, and was actually going through this one with Susan in Pennsylvania, who takes lessons with me on Skype, and suddenly realised that I didn't actually have a decent video of how to play this one. But it starts off G, A7, C, D suspended 2. So make sure after the G, that A7 and that kind of A7, and it's that G note on the 3rd fret of the high E. That's got to really ring out. C in the D suspended 2, which is like a D with the high E open. And then for the first verse we have this A to G. Kind of throughout. Now I'm doing an A like that with just my first finger, and it makes the change into the G a lot easier than if we're doing a full A to G. So if you look at the chords and lyrics on the screen, we've got this. Calling all boys, calling all girls, calling all people on streets around the world. Take this message, a message for you. This message is old, yeah. This message is true. Then at that point the kind of tempo changes from this message is, this message is, this message is, this message is, like that. Or we could do it like what you've got on the screen. This message is, this message is, this message is, this message is, like that. So watch out for that. It kind of helps that the chords are above the correct word at the time. So this message is, this message is. So you're hitting a G on the word messages, then a pause, A. So watch out for that. We then have this little section of so to begin with, we're on C, and we've got this 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're kind of, I'm relaxing my hand and muting it, so it's like that. Moving to D. Four times on that D. On the 4th time, Stephen James has got written on it's a D suspended 2. I've learned not to really argue with him because he's got a better ear than me, and I kind of refer to him if I ever get stuck on things. So I kind of believe what he says. But you could just stick with D. You could just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then C, 1, 2, A minor, D, let ring. Then the most challenging part, especially if you're a beginner, is the quick chord changes of this next section, which love, take a message of love, far and near, take a message of love for all to hear, for all to hear. So that is very strummy, up and down, with quick chord changes. So if you're going to struggle with that, what I would suggest is just play the chord over the correct word and get the timing right. So love, take a message of love, far and near. So you got that G, love, take a D message, C to G of love, D, C, G, far and near. Take a D message, C to G of love, for D, all C to G here, for D, C, A, all to here, which leads nicely into the next verse. Work on it like that. Love, take a message of love, far and near. Take a message of love for all to hear, for all to hear. So you've got to kind of, when you're doing the strum, love, take a message of love, but it's quite difficult to get into that with the quick chord changes. But it's a really good one to practice the simple chords but changing fast. In the case of doing this lesson with Susan, what I suggested to her was to get a plan of how you're going to change from G to D. So when you're moving from that G, keep your finger there to move to the D. When you go to C, finger there, C, G. So kind of get a plan of how to just practice them changes. For the rest of the song, some sleepless nights and wait for you, some foreign presence feel comes creeping through, some stream of hope the whole world through, spread like some silent disease, you'll get yours too. This message is, this message is, this message is, this message is. We then get to this, which is written slightly differently to the first time we did it. So that's C, it's C to D suspended 2 this time. Again, I don't think anybody's going to walk out on you if you did a D, but it's the world of YouTube. If you did it wrong, you'll get let known about it in the comments. And then the next passage is love, take a message of love, far and near, take a message of love for all to hear, for all to hear. And then we're back to our, which is essentially 13 times, which I'm not going to do then. Take a message of love, far and near. Take a message of love for all to hear, for all to hear. And then you really tail out on that. Check the link in the description for the sheet with the chords on. Also a video that was done about 6 years ago where it was played along with the track. Some young girl sent us a video of her playing it along with the track, and I put the chords on the screen with the play along. So check that out if you're trying to get to learn how to play this one. So as always, thank you for watching, and I hope that tells you a bit to play Calling All Girls by Queen.